Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Let's get started. It is 10:33. There is a short webinar on seamless user experience with a single sign-on. So we'll presented by myself, Senthil Palaniappan. I'm President and CEO of Sennovate, and Ravi Kumar. He is our solutions architect. So the webinar is structured as like first 10 minutes, I'll give the introduction, then Ravi will deep dive on the technical aspects of this. Then finally, we end with question and answer. Having said that, let's get started. Thank you again for joining this webinar. So initially, I start with introduction of the company a little bit. This is a Sennovate. We are based in the Bay Area. We have headquarters in East Bay, San Ramon, and we have offices in Schaumburg, Salem, India, and Chennai, India. The company started in 2007. We started as an infrastructure management company, then transitioned into managed security service provider. We specialize in delivering integrated solutions by various security products, whether it doesn't matter on-prem or cloud or hybrid. We bundle all those products and services and deliver as a one solution for the customer, and we take full responsibility in delivering this. Some of our services here, we are the managed security service provider, and our focus is, our vision is to become SSO outsourcing. That means what it means is, like, we provide identity and access management services, cybersecurity solutions, combining various different products available in the market. Security is very complex. We make sure that what is required for the customer, we bundle those value proposition from various products into one solution, and we manage it 24/7 for the customer. Again, this webinar is creating a single sign-on experience. We created this experience for one of the customers. They are the largest restaurant supplies company. How they become largest means they are acquiring many smaller restaurant supplies companies into one big conglomerate. Their vision is to become one of the largest, and it's a privately held company. So when you acquire smaller companies, what happens is every company like 300 to 500 employees, if you will, and that comes with the smaller applications. What is because they have a bigger vision, they have a need to create a bigger platform where the acquisition will be easier for them. So they chose JD Edwards and Oracle Cloud Applications and Oracle Access Manager as part of their SSO solution. Ideally, what they want to see is for their users, whether they are in JD Edwards or in the cloud applications, doesn't matter. It should be seamless, and our SSO solution should seamlessly navigate back and forth between various applications and still look one single application for the end user. It gives a unique user experience, but in a reality, it accesses on-prem applications, cloud applications, whatnot. Having said that, a little more background about the customer. Like I mentioned, this customer is on a buying spree. They have about 14 divisions. I think each division is itself is a company. They kind of acquired and made it as a division, I believe. And they all has like a small or big ERP environments. They have 51 offices and 41 distribution centers, about 2,700 employees. Their corporate vision was very simple. They started this initiative a few years ago with one simple principle. They want to have a right software, right solution. Don't overbuild. Then always think about user experience. Think organizational change management should be simpler. They operated on this vision. They've been operating on this vision. So the product they chose is they have a JD Edwards, But one unique thing about this customer, they don't have their own data center. They had a hosted PaaS provider. They basically, it is on the hosted cloud. So all their on-prem like softwares like JD Edwards, Oracle Access Manager, Active Directory, other applications run on the hosted cloud. And network has to, that hosted cloud should talk to the internal network. And they have a cloud applications, which is Oracle Sales Cloud, CPQ Cloud, Primavera Cloud, and also they have Salesforce. Like I said, they don't have internal data centers, so it's a very complex but unique environment where it's spread across all over the board. We need to integrate this. Our part is how we integrate as a seamless SSO solution, so the customer gets a seamless integrated experience. Having said that, the architecture wise, I hand over this to Ravi, who is our solutions architect involved in this and delivering the solution. Ravi, I'm introducing Ravi. Ravi, please take over.
All right. Thanks, Anthal. Thanks for the detailed introduction and walkthrough of the company as well as the solution. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you are. A little introduction as Senthil introduced me. My name is Ravi Kumar. I'm part of a solution architect team, primarily focused on infrastructure security and identity access management. All right. So first I'll give what is SSO, and then I'll basically walk through this customer use case, how it works, and what are the benefits. In today's world, every individual who is more connected living in the connected or digital world, they need to have multiple email accounts or multiple bank accounts or social identities, which means you have to constantly remember it. And again, it's all just username and password. And lately, we have been enforced to do multi-factor authentication with a one-time password code type of thing to secure our identities. And increasing number of identities comes to the market, which also puts us cyber attackers with more place or more areas to attack. So giving an additional user IDs and password, it's tough for each individual to remember it. And also we made it complex, then even it's harder for them to remember. So this single sign-on helps so that they can have one strong username and password, which is protected with the multi-factor second factor authentication, so that they're just not the password, and also it has additional credential to validate the user identity to claim who they are claiming as. Once they log on, then they have a seamless sign-on experience. So it's not only just the user experience, and also security concerns has been eliminated, because 10 different times they have to enter the username password again if they're accessing 10 different applications, and they have to change their password, they have to remember it. When you start giving more passwords to the user, then they start writing a paper or a post-it or try to keep it a cheat sheet type of thing. So that eliminates the point of keeping a strong password. And also it's hard as a human to remember too many passwords. So those are all the reasons we deploy or propose single sign-on to either it's a small, medium business or large customer. So it helps them to have one strong identity. With that, they can enable and a single sign-on to multiple applications. In this particular case study, what we are talking here, as Senthil mentioned about the corporate, about this company, they start acquiring multiple entities, which means they have multiple platforms or multiple data centers. At the same time, they also have a vision or direction to buy as a software, as a service, rather than building everything from the... Sorry about that, I didn't intend to zoom. Thank you. All right, thanks. So if you see here, they already have 3 different cloud services. One is the Sales Cloud, other one is the Primavera, and Oracle CPQ. So before we deploy this solution, user needs to log into the corporate JD enterprise. They will use an Active Directory account. And if they need to access to this one of these cloud platform, either Sales Cloud or thing, they have to issue another identity, which means the end user needs to have 4 different identities to access this platform. And then we evaluated as a company, we just not deploy the solution. So we also understand what's the customer problem statement. And then we'll come up with the right solution, right tool, which is fit for their needs. Because there are multiple tools in the market. Some of them may best fit, some of them may not fit, depending upon the use cases. And also long-term strategic architecture relationship, which company is taking a decision on it. So since they have a little bit of an Oracle shop and Oracle have a better relationship with them, so they decided to move forward with an Oracle IAM solution or IAM suite, which includes identity and access management. and we help this customer to deploy single sign-on to all these applications. So which means we did not introduce any new user identity or anything. All their users, when they onboard it, they will be created in the directory called employee directory. If it is in a vendor or supplier, they will be created an identity in this vendor and directory. As of today, this process is manual, but they have a streamlined SOP driven, standard operating procedure driven thing. When HR hires a person, terminates a person, they'll contact the IT infrastructure team to create these identities and securely communicate the password to the manager, hiring manager. Then hiring manager will share the password to it. Once they get the password, it will be force them to change the password. So which means then either they will have an identity on this employee directory, which is a Microsoft AD, or they will have it in one of the vendor directory. And then we deployed a solution called Oracle Access Manager, which will connect to any one of these repository depending upon the user where they log in. And when they try to access a JD Edwards application or Oracle Sales Cloud application, they will be presented with the Oracle Access Manager logon page. And then they can enter either the employee credential if it's an employee. If it's a vendor, they can enter the vendor credential as well. So once we validate it, and then we will pass the single sign-on token to JD Edwards. So happy customer, now they don't need to remember additional ID or anything. So they just log into JD Edwards without using any JD Edwards specific. This is their logon credential. As soon as when they come in, they can unlock the computer using a Windows domain credential. The same credential has been used to gain access to ERP application as well. And as you all know, ERP is a very big in enterprise, and they have a link within the ERP portal, JD Edwards portal itself, to go to a Sales Cloud, a CPQ, or a Primavera Cloud. When they click any link from here, they don't need to enter additional username and password. They can have a seamless sign-on experience into any one of these cloud portal as well. The reverse way also possible. If anybody accessed or need to log in, if they know a direct URL to log into Primavera or CPQ, they can log in there. And even in this portal also, there is a custom link published, which will bring them back to JD Edwards. So if, let's say, I'm going to directly go and access a Primavera, I'll enter my AD credential here. There is no local credential has been enabled. So they'll log in with the employee directory credential here to log into Primavera. From there, they have a hyperlink to go back to JD Edwards or Sales Cloud. There'll be no additional logon or authentication required. They will have a seamless sign-on experience configured using a SAML and Oracle specific header-based authentication is configured for the enterprise one. To summarize the solution, so we have deployed as an expertise using Oracle Access Manager to enable single sign-on to the on-prem application. Whatever you see on this one, it's more that is a platform as one of the top vendor. They have a seamless sign-on experience to this, and from there they go to any of the cloud apps. These are the three, and we also helping them to additional two like a Salesforce and the one more. They will have a seamless sign-on experience, and they don't need to enter additional credential or additional user ID and password. So the goal what we achieved is we used only one identity, so user don't need to have additional thing. And we also, the corporate has the policy to enforce change their password every 90 days. So which also helps them to compromise credential or something happens, so that credential will not be good more than 90 days. And also we able to achieve a single sign-on through internal as well as the cloud apps. That I'll pass. I saw some questions came. So
yeah, the question is why use Oracle Access Manager on-premise and not cloud IDCS or Azure?
That's a good question. A great thing. So as I mentioned earlier, so we do product evaluation and meet based on the customer needs. So we could do IDCS, or even Okta is also one of our partner, and even Auth0, any one of the vendors. As I mentioned earlier, this company, they had a strategic decision to work with Oracle as the technology partner, which means they have a better rate and other things compared to the IDCS or Okta. So they got a bundle suit type of license for a IDM platform. So that's one of the reason. And also IDCS is not mature enough to enable single sign-on to on-prem application at all, like a JD Edwards, or within the corporate they have a SAP instance or a Siebel, those type of things. So that's another reason where we have to go with an Oracle Access Manager, because this customer, they had two different requirements. One is called the Web Access Management, which could be delivered from Oracle Access Manager or any of the access management platform. and also cloud SAML based one, which could be IDCS or Okta in that case also though. So reason is we need to have both. So if you go with IDCS, we may not able to integrate with the on-prem JD Edwards. So that was the reason Oracle Access Manager has been chosen one with aligned with the company's strategic vision and also architecture decision. All right. So the previous example, what we discussed is specific to a customer deployment. This is very generic to highlight. We have also expertise to deploy single sign-on using a cloud providers or more like a IDCS type of thing or IDaaS type of thing, identity as a service. So in this example, what we're demonstrating is we are showing as an Okta how Okta Cloud could be used to enable single sign-on to an on-prem applications using the corporate Active Directory, which you have on this left-hand side, or whatever you see on the bottom. This will be your corporate data center. So you have your on-prem apps and other things. So your AD will be there. And instead of setting up an Oracle Access Manager, everything or any SSO solution here, we are leveraging the cloud platform or a cloud vendor. In this example, we more focused mainly on Okta. I believe AWS, Azure, they also provide the IDaaS type of capability, but we're going to focus a little bit on Okta side. The bottom line, what we are trying to demonstrate in this one is we have expertise in deploying any of these solutions. As we mentioned earlier, depending upon the customer needs, once we understand all the use cases, then we can come up with a solution or tool which will best fit the customer needs. So in this one, we set up an Okta instance. Instead of doing a local directory on Okta, which will be integrated through your corporate Active Directory, which you need an agent on your firewall so that it will sync the users or validate the users. So when the user accesses an Okta, they will get authenticated on the step number 2 here. They will get a logon page. They will enter the user ID and password. Once the user ID and password has been validated here, it takes back to them the landing page. So you may see a small widget type of landing page. So once you logged into your Okta portal, from there you are free to go any cloud-enabled application or on-prem application. It gives more like a single pan type of thing where end user don't need to remember additional URL, links, or bookmark, those type of thing. As soon as they log into an Okta landing page or Azure, even AWS, they have a simple pan type of an icons which tells about HR apps, business apps, or on-prem apps or a cloud apps type of thing. With a single click, they have a seamless sign-on experience to all these applications. On top of it, one more thing I would like to highlight here is Okta also provides multi-factor authentication and risk-based authentication capability as well. For example, what I mean by multi-factor is if the user constantly coming from the same browser, we don't trigger an additional credential or additional token. But if say I logged in from one computer, tomorrow I'm coming from different computer, completely two different geo-IP things, then we can do a risk-based authentication through up saying that, okay, you logged in with this IP and this range, now you're coming from here, then we need to provide an additional credential over there. So which may be a one-time token to your phone or an Okta push. There are multiple ways we could configure an multi-factor authentication there. So once the user provide that second credential, then Okta validates it and then they'll land into the landing page and then they have a seamless sign-on experience. To summarize this slide, so we want to demonstrate a cloud-based IDCS or a IDaaS type of solution with a multi-factor, as well as we enable a risk-based authentication. We can throw up a risk-based authentication as well. This is a simple view of how we can sync in a directory type of thing. It's more on not a single sign-on side. It's more like an identity management. For example, the use case we demonstrated earlier, where they had an SOP-based procedure when HR hires a person, they contact an IT department to create the manual user ID and communicate the password secure channel to the manager. So this one shows how we could automate it and create an identity into the directory services. On the left-hand side, you see a human resource system. It could be an Workday, SAP, whichever, any HRMS system. As soon as HR hires a person, it will send a feed to your provisioning engine. Lot of tools here. So mainly we want to demonstrate with the 3 ones here. Either it could be a SailPoint or Okta and Centrify, which will receive a feed from here and then creates an account here. And also it will push the data into the directory server, either it's an Active Directory or a cloud or Azure AD. And not only just the user ID and password, and also it can take some of the additional attributes like your department, location, geography, phone, and other details as well. So it helps you to automate the onboarding and also employee self-service attributes. If somebody changes the workday attributes or HR changes the workday attributes, that will also be published through the identity provisioning engine to the downstream application, which is be an AD or a cloud-based directory. Until I saw there is one more question also.
Is it possible to implement SSO in Oracle technology without OAM? What is the role of OAM?
OAM is the single sign-on engine which will take care of validating the credential and issuing a SAML token, and also defining a federation. If you don't use the OAM, we have to find a similar tool. Either it could be in a cloud-based tool like an Okta or the IDCS type of thing, or other equivalent of OAM will be a site vendor or a ping federate or a ping access type of thing. But these access management tool has been sitting there before even the cloud comes into picture, where SAML mature, where you can have single sign-on to your desktop-based applications or enterprise application like SAP, ERP, or Salesforce, Siebel, those type of things.
Sure. Thanks, Ravi. One more question here. Since you are working with many IAM vendors, how do you decide which one to propose to customer? Which is preferred vendor for SSO? And in general, would it be today better to aim for the cloud SSO solutions or hybrid?
It's a very good question. We're not able to right away throw an answer. So that will be a good type of little bit of an assessment to understand it. Well, the cloud solution will meet all your requirements. And then you have to think cloud solution is a subscription based, which means you'll be paying monthly or yearly type of thing. On-prem or solution is a one-time thing. It's more like a CapEx based and maintenance of it. So we can help to do some optimization and all the requirements either of these will be able to meet. That will be one thing. That will be a deciding factor, our deciding factor. And second thing is the price. A lot of times customer always keep eye on the price of the things what they pay for if you're going to get a similar service. And third things is a strategic alignment, how the vendor is ready to support the support this product or take to the next level also as industry shift or moves on it. So that is the third one. So based on these three or other additional factors, we can help to determine which would be the better one. It's not necessarily always we need a hybrid. If we can able to meet all the requirements in either on the cloud or it's on-prem, we should be okay to do either one. It's no dependency and no correlation to have an hybrid model.
That's a good answer, Ravi. So add to that one, so it's mostly a business decision, right? Like Ravi said, it's their budget, and the budget is like, they want to keep maintaining it or somebody else maintain it. Whether if it's a cloud means more like a subscription model. So like it's mostly driven by the company's business and their needs and their security roadmap. There is no one answer to it, but that's why so many choices, so many products in the world today, and it's all about understanding each and every product, what options they provide, and then which suits the best for our needs. That's where I think as a company we help the customer to kind of position it right to achieve their business goals. Okay, I think we are coming towards the end of this session. Ravi, do you want to add any more thing? Or
no, I think that's all. I believe so. If there are any other questions or things, I'm ready to take up. I believe we answered the question as we talked through the slides. So yeah. I feel I'm good. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll leave you to give the closing comments. But at a high level, we covered the SSO part and also some identity provisioning piece as well.
Sure. Thank you, Ravi. It's a very good insight, and it's always good to hear from you. So here, I think the final thing is like, again, so as a company, like the previous gentleman asked the question, this is, we don't, so many choices, so many products, so many integration pieces, it could, and how do we manage it? That's where at Sennovate we come into picture. In the middle, we kind of say that what are the different security services, and what are the different choices I have, and what are the current applications we have internally on-prem or in cloud, which suits the best for our needs. Those kind of decisions Sennovate help to kind of uh, and finalize and decide, and also we implement and manage it for you. That's kind of a last slide we have, and so some of the key partners we work with, and not limited to this, we have so many other products we work, but these are the key partners we position our services predominantly for SSO, MFA, IGA, and the privileged account management. So we come to end of the seminar. We are up. We are on time closing it, I guess. And this is our contact information. If you have any questions, we will stay here for another few minutes. But feel free to unmute the mic and ask, or maybe post the text. But if you want to reach us for any further help or discussion, just you have the contact information on the screen. Again, thank you everyone for taking this time to attend this webinar. Definitely look forward to seeing you guys again in next our webinar series. Thank you everyone.